I want to share a pretty amazing story with you. As a rabbi, part of our responsibilities, especially in the pulpit world of the rabbi, is to become familiar with people who are gravely ill. So seeing someone in the hospital is not uncommon for me. But I never saw someone as close to death before at such a young age as Ben Ladani. I was on a mission to Israel with a group of rabbis really soon after October 7th. It was the first week in November. And we went to the hospital near Beersheba. The ground invasion had just started before. And in the critical ICU was a young man who made me look small. He was probably 6'5", 250 pounds, very muscular, and he had a highway of tubes and monitors attached to him. In critical care, it's common to have someone who is so gravely ill that there's a nurse stationed to them at all times. But in Ben's case, he had a doctor who was with him at all times. Ben had just been brought over by helicopter from the battlefield, and he was in very grave condition. He was part of the OKETS unit that is trained to use dogs to apprehend terrorists. He was hit with seven different bullets and shrapnel from an RPG. He was just hanging on to life. He had been in 2 surgeries and was in the critical ICU for maybe a few hours. I went by his bedside and I held his foot and I prayed for him, not aware if the sacrifice he was making would be the ultimate sacrifice for our homeland of Israel. His parents had just arrived from South Africa, where he was originally from. As miracles would have it in this horrible situation, there's 1 flight a week from South Africa to Israel. And when they got the news from the call from the Interior Minister of Israel, they ran to the airport immediately with the clothes on their back and their passport, and they caught the flight with less than 45 minutes to go. They got to Israel and they were outside, and as rabbis, we not only console those who are sick, but their family as well. We're talking to this family for about 35 to 45 minutes, and as we're leaving, I said, you know, the person who works with me in my office, her name is Shireen Kramer. She's also from South Africa. Perhaps you know her. They said, no, we don't know any Shireen Kramer. The only Shireen we know is Shireen Glass. Well, Shireen Kramer's maiden name is Shireen Glass. And we played amazing geography for a minute and realized that Shireen, who works at the temple office, and Philippa are best of friends from childhood. They watched each other's children grow up. Shireen had not yet heard about Ben's grave condition because who had? Her family had just heard. And I had the solemn responsibility of calling her and telling her and then playing the connection. We have stayed in touch from this synagogue with the Ladani family, and it is my great privilege and honor to tell you 2 great feats. Ben is walking again. Very slowly, but he is. And here's the other amazing feat. Please God, tomorrow in the sanctuary, Ben is going to be there and he's going to speak to our congregation. I share that with you not only to promote your attendance, but I share that with you because I say every day, 3 times a day, Baruch atah Adonai mechayeh hametim. Praised are you, Adonai, who brings the dead back to life. And most times it's a throwaway sentence for me. I don't think about it. But in the case of Ben, it's as true as it gets. He was revived. He was brought back to life. He'll be with us, please God. And he is one of the many heroes of Israel. As we offer our silent prayer, our Amidah and our Kavanot, I want to encourage you to do something that we often overlook. And look for the text. Look at words that we might have as throwaway sentences or thoughts, and see if it's possible, without a heavy reach or a hard twist, to take some of those words and to see its application in your lives today.